When the first reports from Professor Stasila's excavation at the Holy Sepulchre came out, it was just electrifying. I mean, getting to excavate beneath the floors of Christianity's most sacred site is the kind of opportunity that comes once in a century. It's the archaeological lottery.
It truly is. And what's so compelling isn't just the location.
Right.
It's the scientific rigor they're applying. The headlines say, "Garden found," but the real story is in the details. They're finding not just seeds.
Okay.
They're finding microscopic pollen grains from the same chronological layers. From an archaeobotanical perspective, that's pure gold. It gives us a snapshot of the entire cultivated landscape.
And the timeline, it seems to be locking into place. The key is that these garden layers appear to be sealed beneath the massive construction of the original basilica, the one built by Emperor Constantine in the 320 CE. That construction acts like a perfect archaeological lid. Anything beneath it is older. And plus, they're finding artifacts like stamped bricks from the Roman 10th Legion, which was stationed in Jerusalem after the destruction in 70 CE. It gives us a firm chronological bracket.
And from a preservation standpoint, the geology is on our side. The alkaline limestone bedrock around Jerusalem is a fantastic preservative. It neutralizes the acidic soil that would normally destroy organic remains. What really tells me this is real, though, is the spatial patterning. They're finding these plant remains in concentrated areas associated with low stone walls, the kind you'd build to separate garden plots.
Okay.
This isn't random contamination. It's the ghost of a managed landscape. Which raises the big question. Was this land a garden first and then a burial ground later, or were they happening at the same time?
I'm convinced we're looking at contemporary use.
Right.
And that's what makes this so aligned with the narrative. In first century Jerusalem, it was common for wealthy families to have their income-producing agricultural plots just outside the city wall. And these were also the ideal places for family tombs carved into the soft limestone. The Gospel of John is so precise. Now in the place where he was crucified, there was a garden. And in the garden, a new tomb.
Wow.
It doesn't say near the garden, it says in it. That suggests total integration.
That level of geographical precision is remarkable. As a scientist, I'd stop short of calling it proof of an eyewitness account.
Of course.
But it demonstrates that the author, or their source, had incredibly accurate knowledge of this specific location's topography in the first century. But the plants themselves, they can only tell us what and when, not who and why. What specific crops are they identifying? That can tell us a lot about the who.
And this is where it gets really interesting. They're finding primarily olive and grape remains. What they're not finding is evidence of basic subsistence crops. Like barley or lentils. This wasn't a humble peasant's plot. This was a prestige garden, a capital investment focused on high-value products like oil and wine. Which leads to the next question.
The infrastructure.
Are they finding the infrastructure to process those crops?
That's the key. To prove production, you need more than just seeds.
Right.
You need what we call botanical signatures of processing. Things like a high ratio of olive pits to other plant waste, or compressed olive pulp residues in the soil. For wine, we look for specific grape skin fragments and tartarate acid crystals, which can survive for millennia embedded in soil or pottery. Have they reported finding associated ceramic vessels?
They have. Pottery, oil lamps, and even fragments of glass vessels have been found in the same layers.
There it is.
It's the convergence of all these different lines of evidence. The garden walls, the prestige crops, the storage and lighting artifacts that paints such a vivid picture. So can those chemical traces of oil and wine, can they really survive for 2,000 years?
Absolutely. The molecular fossils of lipids from olive oil and the tartrate crystals from wine are surprisingly stable, especially in the sealed alkaline environment they have there. If they conduct organic residue analysis on the pottery and find those signatures, that would be the smoking gun. It would confirm this wasn't just a garden, it was an active agricultural processing facility. And that fundamentally changes the social dynamics of the story.
It changes everything. Suddenly, Joseph of Arimathea, a member of the elite Sanhedrin, isn't just offering a burial spot in his backyard.
No.
He's offering a piece of his industrial real estate, a functioning economic enterprise. The decision to place the controversial body of an executed state criminal in the middle of his valuable business operation carried an immense economic and political risk. And it makes me wonder, could that very economic importance be the key to how this specific spot was remembered for 300 years?
I believe so. Economically vital places don't just fade from memory. They are maintained, inherited, and referenced. The Roman investment in the site after 70 CE suggested it retained its value. So when Eusebius wrote that Constantine's men had to clear away dirt and rubbish to find the tomb, it wasn't just neglect. It was likely a deliberate burial to protect a valuable asset, which paradoxically preserved it. This wasn't a miraculous rediscovery. It was a consultation with a precise, living local memory anchored in economic reality.
This is a complete paradigm shift. We can apply this economic landscape model to so many other biblical sites.
Exactly.
Think of the Pool of Siloam, not just a place of healing, but a critical piece of Jerusalem's water infrastructure. Its functional importance is why it was never truly lost.
Exactly. We can use modern tools to trace these economic footprints.
How so?
We can map ancient agricultural zones with pollen analysis.
Wow.
We can trace water systems with microscopic algae, and even detect the chemical ghosts of ancient industry in the soil with non-invasive spectrometry.
This discovery of a simple garden has given us a completely new lens. It shows us how to find other lost places by following the trail of human industry, commerce, and just daily life.
Yes.
And this proves that the most profound historical moments often happen not in sacred isolation, but right in the middle of the noisy, messy, and productive business of being human.